It's the Daily Doug.
Hey y'all, welcome back to the Daily Doug for what is going to be our Extended Play Lounge episode number 67. This is going to be a fun one, friends. We're going back to music from The Who, and we're listening to Tommy. And I'm pumped for this, y'all. As I look through this, realize that I have not heard the vast majority of this classic rock opera. So let's go on a journey together and learn the story of Tommy. It's their fourth studio album, released in May of 1969. Like I said, it's a rock opera that's also a double album. Most of the music is written by Pete Townsend, the guitarist of the band. Pete was into the work of Mayor Baba at the time, and he wrote this fictional story of Tommy Walker as the subject and main protagonist in this story. And the work here is often cited as the beginning of the genre known as the rock opera. So they're real pioneers here in this type of piece. It's a style and approach to rock and roll storytelling that would become often imitated, right? Some that come to mind for me, Jesus Christ Superstar, the Rocky Horror Picture Show, that was a movie, though. The Wiz, The Wall, Quadrophenia from the same band, even Grease, I don't know, could be considered maybe a rock and roll musical at least. Evita, even Rent from the 90s. So a lot of music and storytelling in this way has come from, I think, the example that The Who gave us with Tommy. At the time that the band recorded this album, their future was pretty well in doubt. Their latest single releases had been underwhelming in terms of their sales, and Pete was thinking that they needed a larger vehicle, I think is a good term, for their music and their stage antics, and for just them to encompass, right? And so he also wanted to be able to play these songs live, which was bucking the trend at the time, at least from the Beatles and the Beach Boys, who had resorted to just doing stuff in the studio and not playing live, right? So in 1968, Pete told Jan Wenner of the Rolling Stone magazine that the package, I hope, is going to be called Deaf, Dumb, and Blind Boy. It's a story about a kid that's born deaf, dumb, and blind and what happens to him throughout his life. But what it's really about is the fact that he's seeing things basically as vibrations, which we translate as music. That's really what we want to do, create this feeling that when you listen to the music, you can actually become aware of the boy and aware of what he is all about, because we are creating him as we play. Interesting. That quote was in 1969 as they're writing and starting to record this, which would later be released in 1969. So this studio release ended up being very successful for The Who, and it spurred them on in their career, and they've become this ubiquitous rock and roll, classic rock band that's even still around today, right? So Tommy has spurred other incarnations of the rock opera itself. In 1971, the Seattle Opera staged the first fully professional production of it. And a year later, in 1972, there was an orchestrated concert performance that they did with the London Symphony Orchestra. In 1975, you get the feature film that starred Roger Daltrey and Elton John, as well as appearances from a lot of other well-known musicians and actors. In 1989, we get the live concert version that was recorded during their 25th anniversary tour. And in 1991, Pete adapted it into a rock and roll stage musical. And just as sheer happenstance, as I'm recording this here in May of 2024, there's a revival of the stage musical version of this that has just opened on Broadway. And that would be fun to go and see that one at the Niederlander Theater there in New York. So I want to say this, y'all, before we get started. I'm very thankful to Sam for putting this one forward, and it won our poll pretty convincingly. Sam put forward the 1989 live recording of this for the EPL. And as I was preparing to record this episode and reading in, my Word document is 23 pages, y'all, once we get all of this information and all of the text of what's going to happen. So as I was reading in, I realized that I only really know 2 songs in the entire production. I've heard Pinball Wizard. I know what that sounds like. And I remember the recurring theme of See Me, Feel Me. And I've seen that. It's going to happen a lot more often throughout as a recurring theme in the production than I was even understanding as I recall that theme. So I reached out to Sam, we chatted about it, and Sam has graciously given me permission to consider listening to the original version instead of the live version from 1989. And that's what I've decided to do. And I definitely want to come back to the live version that Sam put forward in the future, but I wanted my first time with this to be the original studio version. And then I can go and check out these alternate performances and versions with that understanding. Because before I read in today, I really didn't have any understanding of what this was about besides a deaf, dumb, and blind kid that could play pinball. And as I look at it, the pinball thing seems to even be sort of a secondary theme. You know, the fact that he can play pinball is, in my mind, as I'm reading through and understanding the whole story, kind of a side note. And I'll be interested to see if I'm wrong or right about that as we go. But I'm going to do the original studio version here. And Sam, I'm thankful for your flexibility with that. I'll get to the live version before too long, but I got to hear the original one first, I think is where I came down. So what I've got is sides 1, 2, 3, and 4, and I've got them set up so that we'll hear it a side at a time from the original recording. So let's get to it, friends. I'll narrate as I'm able to, telling you what I hear. Y'all know the drill. We have fun with these extended play lounges that have an overarching story and narrative to them. So it's going to be a fun time. We're going to start off on side 1 with the overture that's going to introduce some themes that I think we will hear throughout the work. So let's get it started, y'all. Here is side 1 from Tommy. Off we go. Okay. It's over G. Boom. 5 chord. Whoa! Now it's a minor 5. 5 of 5. And that's going to be the new 1. Is that John playing the horn? I think I remember that he could play the horn. Different theme. Starts off very not rock and roll. Or not quite rock and roll, you know? Acoustic guitar with an orchestral instrument providing the melodic lead. Pretty. That's down a third from where they were. Okay. Where did they go? I think they're in E. Somebody's ready to go. Cool rips. That sounds like Pinball Wizard, right? With that suspended chord that resolves in. Really well-crafted overture. The themes are easy to ascertain.
Captain Walker didn't come home. His unborn child will never know him.
So Captain Walker is Tommy's dad.
Believe him, miss him with a number of men. Don't expect to see him again.
He's believed dead, missing in action and war. Comes more stereo. That's cool. Great guitar playing. It's turning it parallel minor. I love acoustic guitar. It's kind of a Lydian resolution over that.
It's a boy.
It's a boy, second song. So Mrs. Walker is giving birth.
It's a boy, Mrs. Walker. It's a boy.
It's a high vocal. For unto us a child is born. And it's a major chord. Okay, a son, a son, a son. This is the first theme that we heard in the overture. 1921 is the song.
Got a feeling 21 is gonna be a good year, especially if you and me sit in together. So you think 21 is gonna be a good year? Could be good for
Different
me and
key than
her,
they started
but you and
with.
her, no, never.
I think they went down from G to, or C to.
I had no reason to be over optimistic, but somehow when you you smile, I can brave bad weather.
7
What about the boy? What about the boy?
Yeah, I hear that as 5 on the bottom.
What about the boy? He saw it all.
He saw it all.
You didn't hear it, you didn't see it. You won't see nothing, no one, never in your life. You never heard it. How absurd it all seems without any proof.
There's no
You
proof.
didn't hear it,
like,
you didn't see it. You never heard it.
they're using the
not a
Force.
word of it. You
These are
won't
not the
see
droids
nothing,
you're
no
looking for.
one,
They're
never
trying to
tell a soul
convince
what you know
Tommy.
is the truth.
Never tell a soul what I know is the
21
truth.
is gonna be a good year.
His dad comes home, is what I get from the story.
If you and me
And he finds that his
see
wife
it
has taken a new
together.
lover. And the dad, Tommy's
Got a
dad,
feeling
kills the new
21
lover.
is gonna be a good year.
And Tommy sees it.
Especially if you and me see it in together.
He witnesses the killing.
I had no reason to be over optimistic.
I love the descending chromatic bass line.
Somehow when you smiled, I could brave bad weather.
5-1. Minor 4. So the parents, his parents try to coerce him into believing that he didn't see what or hear what just happened. And I think that's what causes Tommy to disassociate from his senses and become the deaf, dumb, blind person, at least to the outside world. Next song is Amazing Journey. 4-1. 4-1. D to A, I believe.
Deaf, dumb, and blind boy, he's in a quiet vibration land. Strange as it seems, his musical
Different
dreams
keys.
ain't quite so bad.
That's 5-1. Deaf, dumb, and blind boy, he's in a quiet vibration land. Strange as it seems, his musical dreams ain't so bad. Yeah, all of those are like 4-1 relationships, but they're in
10
different
years old, with thoughts
keys.
as bold as thoughts can be.
It has a sense of
Loving life and
being
becoming
untethered from
wise
the
in simplicity.
a key or a reality or a home
This
base.
will surely take the mind where minds can't usually go. Come on the amazing journey and learn all you should know.
I hear that is
The
5.
vague haze of delirium creeps upon me. All at once a tall stranger I suddenly see. He's dressed in a silver spot glittering gown, and his golden beard flows nearly down to the ground.
Okay, so that's a haze of delirium. So he's dreaming this?
Nothing to say, nothing to hear, nothing to see. Each sensation makes a note in my
Each sensation makes a note in my symphony. Nothing to say, nothing to hear, nothing to see.
Sickness will surely take the mind.
Sickness will surely take the mind where minds cannot usually go. So they're tapping into his imagination. Come on the amazing journey.
Learn all you should
Learn all
know.
you should know.
His eyes are the eyes that transmit all they know. Sparkle warm crystalline glances to show. He is your leader, he is your guide. On on the amazing journey to carry your life.
All 4 to 1s. 3 different keys in a row. Cool. The next song is called Sparks, and it's an instrumental. Psychedelic too, isn't it? Over a single chord. Almost serves as an extension of where we were. I think they're in E. And I think in terms of the story, it's just a manifestation of some of the musical dreams, the imagery that we were talking about in Amazing Journey. Now it's over the fire. Up a step. Cool. C sharp now. C sharp 7. A lot of color. Okay. Got to. Gotta be careful though. Alice is getting a little farther down into Wonderland here. Taking their time. The voicings are great too. Where'd they end up? I'm not sure. I'm not sure when the next song starts, but it's called The Hawker.
You talk about your woman. I wish you could
Eyesight to the
see
Blind
mine.
is the other name for this.
Yeah, you talk about your woman. I wish you could see mine. Every time she starts to love and she brings eyesight to the blind.
This is not an original song. It was written in the early 1950s as a blues song, from what I read.
Her daddy gave her magic, I can tell by the way she walks. Every time she starts to shake in the dark.
Every time she starts to shake and the dumb begin to talk. So what's happening here is that Tommy, his parents are tired of trying to keep up with him, I think. And so he's passed to a pimp and then to a prostitute. And the prostitute attempts to cure him with drugs. I think. That's what I got from my read-in of the synopsis.
She's got the power to heal you.
She's got the power to heal you.
Oh, she's got the power to heal you. Never fear.
Drumming is great. Silence when there needs to be, and it's got a lot of color when it comes in. And it ends on what sounds like a 5-chord, and that's the end of side 1. Wow! A quarter of the way in, friends, and it's just getting good, I think. So we've got, as far as I can tell so far, Tommy's born with the ability to use his senses. He's not born like this. It's not a physical ailment. That's what I think. And his dad is away and presumed dead. His mom delivers him. It's a boy, Mrs. Walker. It's a boy. His dad returns, and they didn't expect him to. Most of all, his wife, who has moved on. He's not happy about it. He kills the guy. Tommy witnesses everything. They convince Tommy, you never saw anything. This never happened. We don't want to go to jail type stuff. Like, you know. And he literally took it to heart and decided maybe it was the trauma of it. I'm not sure how old he was when that happened. But he was at least old enough to understand what they were trying to tell him. Like, just hush about this. And so he separates himself from his own senses and kind of has that, I think it's a psychological block. And he really is going through it. But he can't overcome it once it starts, I think, is what's going on. And now he's trying to be healed. He's learning to interpret vibrations as a way to understand what's going on around him. This prostitute is trying to cure him with drugs, and that's where we left off. That's as far as I know, so let's keep going. Side 2 starts with a song called Christmas, and let's see where it goes. Off we go.
Did you ever see the
Right into
faces
it.
of the children? They get so excited.
Boy, that sounds like the Beatles.
Waking up on Christmas morning, hours before the winter sun's ignited.
Are those chickens?
They believe in dreams and all they mean, including heaven's generosity.
I think so. Are they on a farm?
The door to see what parcels are for free and curiosity. And Tommy doesn't know what day it is.
Okay.
He doesn't know who Jesus was or what day it is.
So he doesn't understand Christmas.
How can he be saved from the eternal grave?
Wow. His salvation is
Surrounded by his
not
friends, he
an
sits
option,
so silently and
says the
unaware
Father.
of anything.
There's the chickens again.
Playing foxy pinball,
Playing
picks his
foxy
nose and
pinball.
smiles and pulls his tongue at
Smiles and puts his
everything.
tongue at everything.
I believe in love, but how can men who've never
Sounds like
seen
Lord.
life be enlightened?
By the way, G to D.
Only if he's cured will his spirit future level ever heighten.
because Tommy can't see or speak or hear, does his dad think that Christmas is a waste of time?
Tommy, can you hear me?
Tommy, can you hear me?
Tommy, can you hear me?
Blue.
Tommy, can you hear me?
Diminished chord.
Tommy, can you hear me?
Wow.
Tommy, can you hear me?
Restack. There's all these different types of sounds. How can he be saved? So I think they were trying all these different sounds to reach him. This is Tommy.
Feel me, touch me, heal me.
I think he's... I don't know if they can hear him. But I think even if it's an internal monologue, inside, he's desiring to be reconnected with his senses. Yeah.
Tommy, can you hear me? Tommy, can you hear me? Tommy, can you hear me?
It's a diminished chord,
Tommy, can you hear me?
inverted chord.
Tommy, can you hear me? Can you hear me? How can we be saved?
So these are competing ideas. Tommy, can you hear me? How can he be saved?
Ever see the faces of the children? They get so excited.
It's the chickens again.
Waking up on Christmas morning, hours before the winter sun rises. They believe in dreams and all they mean, including heaven's generosity. Peeping round the doors to see what parcels offer free and curiosity.
Wonderful storytelling, Elliot.
Tommy doesn't know what day it is.
Roger's such a great vocalist that he can take on and be the storyteller, the narrator in a real, effective way. It's really great. Okay, the next song is called Cousin Kevin. Kevin. Sounds like Fa to me.
We're on our own, cousin, all alone.
I think I've heard that before,
Let's think of a game to play.
but it's only a short of a memory.
Now the grown-ups have all gone away. You won't be much fun being blind, deaf, and dumb. But I've no one to play with today.
It's like 4-1.
Do you know how to play hide and seek?
Yeah, in different
Find
keys.
me, it would take you a week. But tied to that chair, you won't go anywhere. There's a lot I can do with
Shit.
a free.
Cousin Kevin is not a nice Kevin.
How would you feel if I turned on the light, ducked your head under and started to laugh? What would you do
He's
if I shut you
torturing him.
outside to stand
He's messing with him.
in the rain and get cold so you die?
So he's not with his parents. He's not with that prostitute giving him drugs. He's with his cousin Kevin. That's sinister. The half steps and the glissandos are what makes it sinister. I'll stick pins in your fingers, tread on your feet. Kevin can just go have a Coke and a smile.
We're on our own, cousin,
themselves.
Cousin, let's think of a game to play. Now the grown-ups have all gone away. You won't be much fun being blind, deaf, and dumb.
So the suspended note goes down by step, and then that's going to stay and become a suspended note down. That's how he's doing that. Then that stays and resolves down. Then that's cool. Sequential pattern that he figured out. Maybe a cigarette burn on your arm. Dragging him around by a lock of his hair. Give him a push at the top of the stairs. I'll put glass in your dinner. Okay. I get the picture. Let's stay away from Cousin Kevin. Cousin Kevin needs some therapy. Major key after all of that, right? Cool. Next up is a song called The Acid Queen. And I believe that the Acid Queen is the same prostitute as we met in The Hawker.
I'll show him what he could be now. Just give me one night.
Okay. Here that is 5.
The Acid Queen. Pay before we start.
You gotta prepay.
The gypsy. I'm guaranteed to tear your soul apart.
Ah, that stays.
Give us a
No.
room. Close the door.
Just trying to figure out is it an A or D?
For a while.
But they're cadencing in D.
Boy won't be a boy no more. Young, but not a child. I'm the gypsy.
And it kind of stays on A for a while.
Acid Queen. Pay before we start. The gypsy. I'm guaranteed to tear.
So the
your
Acid
soul
Queen wants
apart.
to give him some drugs.
Gather your wits and hold on fast. Your mind must learn to roam.
Okay, I think she's going.
Just as the gypsy queen must do. You're gonna hit the road.
Okay. So what's gonna happen? Up step.
My work is done. Now look at him. He's never been more alive.
Did she?
His head it shakes. His fingers clutch.
Fingers clutch.
Watch his
Watch his
body
body.
rise.
So he's having a reaction to it.
The Acid Queen. There before we start. I'm the gypsy. I'm guaranteed to break your
Break your heart.
little heart.
Well. The musical language is quite straightforward, y'all. It's not overly complicated just to be musically astute. They're just playing the types of progressions and sounds they would normally play. I think they're just applying it to this larger concept.
If your child ain't all he should be now, This girl will put him right. I'll show him what
Okay.
he could be
I don't know
now.
who this is. If you're a child, they know like it should be. Now this girl will put him right out. So the girl, I think, is the acid queen. Oh, this girl. Okay, she's talking about herself.
Acid queen. Hey, before we start the dipsy, I'm guaranteed to tear your soul apart.
Is this into the underture? It's another instrumental. The subtonic by a whole step back up to a tonic is something that they use quite a bit. Cool. The percussion is great, by the way. It's recorded at a distance. It gives it a completely different sound. It sounds like a bass drum or a timpani that's in the right key. And I hear that as a prolongation of the dominant and not as a tonic chord. I hear the resolution is 1, if it ever gets there. New 5. Oh, that's 1. That's cool, y'all. So, are we hearing a manifestation of what he's hallucinating after having some drugs from the acid queen? I wonder if that's what this is. Because Pete, remember, gave that quote of like, as we're playing, we're building Tommy, we're giving you the personification, the vibrations, the rhythms. Sounds like 5. A new 5. Really cool. Woo. Same bass, but he moved the pattern up a step and separates it from reality just a bit. The bass is holding here and he's moving away from it. And there's tension there. That's really a cool technique. overture, set us up to hear these as parts of the story. Compared to the other tracks, it's quite a lengthy track, and it's an instrumental. And it's right in the middle of the story. It's an inventive way to use the percussion in a rock band. There it is again. That's really cool. Completely engrossed in this, y'all. I truly haven't heard most vast majority of what I've been hearing. Although I do think this is a bit long. To where they go to finish out the side. It seems unclear, kind of a mirage. Like it's imagined or hallucinated, but it also sounds in those distances, it sounds hopeful almost. Like at the base of all of it is something that's really not evil or not out to get anything negative. There's a real harmony underneath it, I think. There's more of that subtonic there. I said it's long, but overall I think it's effective as an instrumental in this story. cliffhanger to end on. Woo. Okay, y'all. Processing. I'm processing all that we've just been through. I can't believe they took that much time for that instrumental. That's an interesting length for just the form of the piece, with everything else being relatively short. So what happened here on side 2? Because Tommy doesn't understand Jesus, Christmas is a waste of time, says his father. Okay. So he ends up with Cousin Kevin, and Cousin Kevin is not a good Kevin. He's a bad Kevin, and he's torturing and abusing Tommy because he's just sadistic. That's what I get from that. So then he finds his way to the Acid Queen, who thinks that she can heal him and gives him a whole bunch of hallucinogenic drugs, and thinks that now his mind's coming alive, but I'm not sure. But we then, in this long instrumental called Underture, get maybe a peek into his mind going fuzzy in different ways and imagining things, right? Just like we did before. So, let's keep going. I'm into it, y'all. It's a real page turner. Let's keep going. Side 3. And it starts out with a song called Do You Think It's All Right? And let's see where the story goes. Off we go.
Do you think it's alright to leave the boy with Uncle Ernie?
Okay,
Do
Ernie.
you think it's alright? He's had a few too many. Yes, I think it's alright.
Well,
do you think it's alright?
maybe it's not. If he's already... Cool. If he's already had too many. That was short. Next is called Fiddle About.
I'm your wicked Uncle Ernie. I'm glad
your
you
wicked
won't hear me as I fiddle
Uncle Ernie.
fiddle about. Your mother
Well,
left me here to
Cousin
mind
Kevin
you. Now
is
I'm doing what I want
an
to.
asshole. Let's see what's wrong with Ernie.
Fiddle about. Down with the bedclothes, up with your nightshirt. Fiddle about.
Okay, this is not good, y'all. Down with the bedclothes, up with your nightshirt. Fiddle about, fiddle about, fiddle about. That's molestation, right?
You won't shout as I fiddle.
No shit. That's sinister, y'all. There's still that whole step. Subtonic to he won't stop. This family is screwed up, y'all. Wow. Then it goes to Pinball Wizard? One second he's getting molested by his evil Uncle Ernie, the next he's playing pinball and he's really good at it. That's a weird transition in the story. The one that I've heard.
Ever since I was a young boy, I played the silver ball. From Soho down to Brighton, I must have played them all. But I ain't seen nothing like him in any amusement hall. That deaf, dumb, and blind kid sure plays a mean pinball. He stands like a statue, becomes part of the machine.
That's a B, down to A, right, down to G, flat 7 and flat 6.
Sure plays a mean pinball.
Interesting.
He's a pinball wizard, there has to be a twist.
It's unlike most things that we've heard.
Such a surprise.
Huh.
How do you think he does? I don't know. What makes him so good?
Ain't got no distractions, can't hear no buzzes and bells. Don't see no lights flashing.
Okay, so because he doesn't have all the distractions from his other senses, he can really hone in and play a mean pinball.
I thought I was the body table king, and I just handed my pinball crown to him.
I thought I was the Valley Table King, but I just handed my pinball crown to him. So, whoever is singing this about Tommy, they have just told us that Tommy has won the crown, whatever that means.
Even on my favorite table, he can't beat my best. His disciples needed him, and he just does the rest.
Oh, so he's got-
Got crazy flipper fingers, never seen him fall. That deaf, dumb, and blind kid
Sure plays a mean pinball.
Interesting. I'm standing by my original idea. I was wondering how this fits into the story. It seems like a non sequitur. Like we didn't have to know that he played pinball for the story to work. I want to see what they make of it. The next song is called There's a Doctor.
There's a man I found could bring us all joy.
This is Tommy's father singing.
The boy. A doctor I found can cure the boy.
Yeah, he found a doctor.
There's a man I found could remove his sorrow. He lives in this town. Let's see him tomorrow. Let's see him tomorrow.
It's like we go back to the story. Weird. Go to the Mirror is the next song. So he's getting to go to the
seems
doctor.
to be completely unreceptive. The tests I gave him show no sense at all.
Okay.
His eyes react to light, the dials detected. He hears but cannot answer to your call.
So the doctor is saying,
See me,
yeah, this is cool.
feel me, touch me, heal me.
The inner
See
longing,
me,
like I'm trying to break through.
me, touch me.
The doctor says there's nothing really physically wrong. His eyes react to the light. He hears but cannot answer
There
her
is
call.
no chance for untried operation. All hope lies with him and none with me.
Yeah, his getting better is up to him, not up to the doctor.
When he suddenly can hear and speak and see.
See me, feel me, touch me, heal me. See me, feel me, touch me, heal me.
His eyes can see, his ears can hear, his lips speak.
Okay.
All the time the needles flick and rock. No machine can give the kind of stimulation
So
needed to remove his inner
he's got an inner block, a psychological block, and there's no machine that's going to be able to break him out of that. He's got to do it himself. Go to the mirror.
Go to the mirror, boy. I often wonder what he is feeling. Has he ever heard a word I've said? Look at him in the mirror dreaming. What is happening in his head?
Look at him in the mirror dreaming what is happening in his
I
head.
get the music gazing at you. I get the heat following you. I climb the mountain. I get excitement at your
I remember that from the overture.
I see the millions
There's a flat 6, then 4, 5, 1.
from you. I get opinions from you.
So this is Tommy, like, telling his dad, like, what's happening in his head. His dad, like, he's not actually telling him, I'm guessing.
What is happening in his head? Ooh,
His dad's like, what is, well, do you remember? Do you remember when it happened? It was because you were committing a crime in front of him. Come on, Dad. So this is Tommy, can you hear me?
Tommy, can you hear me? Can you feel me near you? Tommy, can you see me?
The point of view of his mom
Cheer
now.
you. Ooh, Tommy, 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 Tommy,
Tommy.
Tommy, can
Tommy.
you hear me? Can you feel me near you? Tommy, can
This should have been a Verizon wireless commercial, y'all.
Can I help to cheer you? Ooh, Tommy, 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 can you hear me? Can you feel me near you? Tommy, can you see me?
4-1.
Can I help to cheer you?
4-1. Boy, Pete loves his 4-1s.
Tommy, 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 Tommy,
So his mom's trying to get him out of his psychological block. You know, now that she knows that he's physically okay. And I think the next one's called Smash the Mirror. So his mom's frustrated that he spends all his time staring at the mirror
you don't answer my call
instead of paying attention to her.
nod or a wink, but you gaze at your own reflection, alright. You don't seem to see me, but I think you can see yourself. How can the mirror affect you? Can you hear me, or do I surmise that you feel me? Can you feel my temper rise, 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 rise,
Rising by half steps.
rise, rise, rise,
While the bases stay right.
rise, rise, rise. Do you hear or fear, or do I smash the mirror?
Mom's gonna smash the mirror. Take away his only thing that he can connect with. What is wrong with this family? Well, 7 years of bad luck. There you go. We're gonna end this side with a song called Sensation. So the smashing of the mirror is gonna shake him. Is gonna be the thing that shakes him free of his mental block. I think.
I overwhelm as I approach you. Make your lungs hold breath inside.
There's the lowered seventh again in the back,
Caresses for me.
and we got the horn
Love
again.
enhanced when I've gone by. You feel me coming. A new vibration. From
It's a-
afar you'll see me.
I almost made a Beach Boys joke.
I'm a
Sorry.
sensation.
It's not a new
I'm a
vibration.
sensation.
He's a sensation.
They worship me and all I touch.
They worship me and all I touch. Easy eyes, they catch my glance.
Pleasant shudders shake their senses, while warm momentum grows their stance. You feel me coming, a new vibration.
So he's tapped into this way to more deeply feel the earth around him, his environment, these vibrations. And maybe doing that, depriving himself of those senses. Maybe that's heightened his ability to tap in to energy in a different way. Alright, he's coming, y'all.
I'm a sensation.
Is he going to become like a traveling religion man?
Rooted people mesmerized.
He's going to lead some tent revivals.
The few I touched, now are
The few I touched are now disciples.
there's one, I am the light.
I am the light. Well, Tommy. So he's realizing that he can be a powerful leader, a sensation among the people. Maybe because he's recovered, and maybe he's got, I'm sure he's got a story to tell. That's all aside 3, by the way. And now that we've gotten this far, I have to go ahead and see how this thing concludes. This is strange to me. Not strange, but still, I'm trying to figure out why he has to play pinball. Because that's the song that I associate with Tommy. But it's not really about that. Curious. Let's get on to side 4 and see how this thing concludes. The first song up is called Miracle Cure. I believe that's very short. And then a song called Sally Simpson. Let's see who Sally is. Let's start side 4. Off we go.
Extra, extra, read all about it. The Pinball Wizard and the Miracle Cure.
Yeah.
Extra, extra.
So the newspapers have picked up
Extra.
the story. That's it. Okay, so his story is spreading. It's a miracle cure.
Outside the house, Mr. Simpson announced that Sally couldn't go to the meeting. He went on cleaning his blue Rolls Royce and she ran inside a weeping. She got to a room and tears splashed the picture of a new Messiah. She picked up a book of her father's life and threw it on the fire. She knew from the start, deep down in her heart, that she and Tommy were worlds apart.
Okay.
But her mother said, never mind, your part is to be what you'll be.
So Sally,
The theme of the sermon was come unto
I
me,
think, is an
and love
admirer
will
or
find a
follower of
way.
Tommy.
So Sally decided to ignore her dad
and
speak
through her
out
perspective,
anyway.
we get to see
She spent all afternoon getting ready and decided she'd try to touch him. Maybe he'd see that she was free and talk to her this Sunday.
in her story, we get to see
She
Tommy's
knew from the
impact
start,
on
deep
people
down in her heart, that she and Tommy were worlds apart.
via his sermons and his traveling and his teaching.
But her mother said, never mind, your part is to be what you'll be. She arrived at 6 and the place was swinging to gospel music by 9. Group after group appeared on the stage and Sally just sat there crying. She bit her nails, looking pretty as a picture, right in the very front row.
Front
and
row.
a DJ wearing a blazer with a badge ran on and said, here we go. Here we go, y'all. The crowd went crazy as Tommy hit the stage. Little Sally got lost as the police bossed the crowd back in a rage.
Okay.
Soon the atmosphere was cooler and Tommy gave a lesson. Sally just had to let him know she loved him and leapt up on the rostrum. She ran across stage to the spotlit figure and brushed him on the face. Tommy whirled round as a uniformed man threw her off the stage.
Huh. Huh.
She knew from the start, deep down in her heart, that she and Tommy were worlds apart. But her mother said, never mind.
Sally just can't control herself, can she?
What you'll be. Her cheek hit a chair and blood trickled
Her
down.
cheek hit a chair and blood trickled down.
Tommy carried on preaching and his voice filled Sally's ears. She caught his eye, she had to try, but he couldn't see through the lights. Her face was gashed and the ambulance men had to carry her out that night.
It's a heck of a story song.
The crowd went crazy as Tommy left the stage.
All right, Tommy left the
Little
stage.
Sally was lost for the price of a touch and a gash across her face.
Oh, poor Sally.
Ooh. 16 stitches put her right, and the dad said, don't say I didn't warn you. Sally got married to a rock musician she met in California. Tommy always talks about the day the disciples all went wild. Sally still carries a scar on her cheek to remind her of his smile.
Crazy story.
She knew from the start, deep down in her heart, that she and Tommy were worlds apart. But her mother said, never mind, your part is to be what
Fine.
you'll be.
Your part is to be what you'll be. Is what her mom says. That she couldn't control herself. She was there in the front row the night that the shit hit the fan, and people went wild for Tommy on stage. A song called I'm Free.
I'm free. I'm free. And freedom tastes of reality.
Freedom Tastes of Reality. It's a moment
I'm
of
free.
taking time to hear directly from himself,
Free.
right? A bit of introspection.
And I'm waiting for you to follow me. If I told you what it takes to reach the highest high, you'd laugh and say nothing's that simple. But you've been told many times before, Messiah's pointed to the door. No one had the guts to leave the temple. I'm
I
free.
wonder what he's feeling free
I'm
from.
free.
Free from maybe multiple things. Free from the block that he had,
Of reality.
right? And he can finally, find his calling in the world. But maybe he's feeling empowered and gaining a bit of an ego as he goes, right? I'm waiting for you to follow me. He's thinking of himself almost as a messiah, right? A leader, a spiritual leader.
I'm free. I'm free. And I'm waiting for you to follow me.
That's flat 6, flat 7 to 1, landing on a major 1. And then it's back to the Pinball Wizard. In the same key, the bass is a B.
How can we fall? How can we
And they're using that. How can we follow? That's followers, I'm guessing. Down a half step, down another half step, down another half step. Down they go. It stops there. Okay, we don't have many left, y'all. The next one is called Welcome. Come to my house. He developed a commune.
Come to my house, be one of the comfortable people. lovely bright home. We're drinking all night, never sleeping.
No, it's fine.
Milkman come in, and you baker, little old lady welcome, and you shoemaker.
5-1 in the relative minor.
To this
Back
house,
to the major.
into this house.
Come to this house, be one of us.
One of us. One of us.
Make this your house, be one of us.
It's kind of an enticing
You can
lullaby,
help
right?
collect some more in young and old people.
You can help
Let's
us collect
get
more
them all
people.
in.
Young and old. Let's get them all.
Come to this house. Into this house.
So he's trying to build his movement, and he's got a commune. And he's inviting anybody and everybody to join. Nonsense. There's the harmonica. It's like major and
Ask
minor at
along
the
that
same
man
time.
who's wearing a carnation. Bring every single person from Victoria Station. Go into that hospital and bring the nurses and patients. Everyone go home and fetch their relations.
Come to this house, be one of the comfortable people. Lovely bright home, drinking all night, never sleeping.
Lovely bright home, drinking all night, never sleeping. This is not going to end well.
Excuse me, sir. There's more at the door.
It's like Branch Davidians or something.
There's more at the door. There's more at the
There's more at the door.
There's more at the door. There's more at the door.
Tommy built it, so they're coming.
There's more at the door. There's more.
Okay.
We need more room, build an extension.
Of course.
A colorful palace,
Big
spare
palace.
no expense.
Spare no
now.
expense. He's got all the
Come to
money
this
he needs.
house,
One of
be
us.
one of us.
Wow. I had no idea that this is where the story went.
Be
None.
one of us.
I thought it was a story about a deaf, dumb, and blind kid who plays pinball.
Come to this house. Into this house.
He's the guaranteed eternal sanctuary man that they talk about in Supper's Ready, right? So is that the passage of time? Okay.
Good morning, campers.
Good morning, campers. Uncle Ernie? What the fuck is Ernie doing there?
Camp with a difference. Never mind the weather. When you come to Tommy's, the holidays forever.
That is a creepy carnival, y'all.
With a difference. Never mind the weather. When you come to Tommy's, the holidays forever.
I still can't figure out why Tommy let Uncle Ernie back in the business.
Welcome.
Welcome. Now it's sinister. Okay, the last big song, y'all.
Welcome
It's called
to the camp.
We're Not
I
Gonna
guess
Take
you
It.
all know why we're
The
here.
culmination of our story.
My name is Tommy, and I became aware this year.
So he's telling him his story.
If you want to follow me, you've got to play pinball.
It's not that you gotta,
And
you know,
put in
give your money
earplugs,
away and
put
serve
on
the
your
poor.
eye shades,
It's
you know
you
where
gotta
to
play
put the
pinball,
call.
y'all. Put in your
Hey,
earplugs.
you
put on
getting
your
drunk?
shades.
So sorry, I've got you sussed. Hey, you smoking Mother Nature? This is a bust. Hey, hung up old Mr. Normal, don't try to gain my trust.
He's addressing
'Cause
different
you
types
ain't
of
gonna
people.
follow me any of those ways, although you think you must. We're not gonna take it. We're not gonna take it.
The guests
We're not gonna take it.
are whispering, "We're not gonna take it."
We're not gonna take it.
Now they're singing.
Never did and never will.
Never did, never will.
We're not
So
gonna take it.
they're shunning
Gonna
the.
break it. Gonna shake it. Let's forget it. Better still.
So it's not a cult. Or, you know, they're not
Now
buying
you
what he's
can't hear me,
throwing down.
your ears are truly sealed.
Now you can't hear me.
You can't speak either, 'cause your mouth is filled. You can't see nothing,
Can't see nothing.
and pinball completes the scene. Here comes Uncle Ernie to guide you to your very own machine.
Fascinating.
We're not gonna take it.
They're like, no.
We're not gonna take
So are they
it.
just there for the free food and
We're not
drinks?
gonna take it.
Are they taking advantage
We're
of
not
him?
gonna take it. We're not gonna take it. Never did and never will. Don't want no religion. And as far as we can tell,
As far as we can tell, we ain't gonna take
we
you.
ain't gonna take you.
So he's
Never
still,
did and never will.
even though he's surrounded by followers,
We're not gonna
alone.
take you. We forsake you.
Wow.
Gonna rape you. Let's forget you better still.
Shit, they don't have to rape him. We're not gonna take you, we forsake you, gonna rape you, let's forget you better still. I don't know whether to be sympathetic to Tommy
We forsake
or
you.
not.
Gonna rape you. Let's forget you better still.
See me,
Boy, they always start on that chord, don't they?
feel me, touch me, heal me.
It's three parallel major chords.
See me,
That's E flat.
feel me,
Suspension, but that's F major.
me, heal me,
G major, E flat, F, and G.
see me, feel me, touch me, heal me, see me, feel me,
So it's,
touch me.
I hear this as still a crying out to be validated, seen, understood, heard, healed.
Listening to you, I get the music. Gazing at you,
Four,
I get the heat.
one,
Following
comes back
you,
from the very beginning.
I climb the mountain. I get excitement at your
I get opinions.
I get opinions from you. I get the story. Listening to you, I get the music. Gazing at you, I get the heat. Following you, I climb the mountain. I get excitement at your feet. Right behind you, I see the millions on you. I see the glory from you. I get opinions from you. I get the story. Listening to you, I get the music. Gazing at you, I get the heat. Following you,
So it's 4,
I climb the
5,
mountain.
6.
I get excitement at your feet.
It's going to conclude there.
Right behind you, I see the millions on you. I see the glory from you.
Well, Pete Townsend has created a character who is a lot more multifaceted than I ever thought. As someone who had just heard Pinball Wizard. You understand what I'm talking about? It may be that y'all have known this for so long that you've, forget that there are those of us that haven't heard it. In all that I think about with the story, the Pinball Wizard part is such a minor occurrence. It could have been anything. It could pinball. That's interesting. What is it? Maybe he could have been a musician and learned to express himself through the vibrations that he had come to understand in music instead of pinball. It could have been anything. My point is, it's a weird thing for me to experience because I come into this, the assumption is that, you hear that deaf, dumb, blind kid sure plays a mean pinball. So here's a kid who is suffering from all of these maladies, but he's able to rise above because he can play pinball. How does he do that? I don't know. What makes him so good? All that stuff, and the stories around that. No, that's a deviation from the story. The story is not really about that at all. It's about who he became as a result of these crazy experiences in his life. Born without a dad, to a single mom who thinks his dad's dead. Moves on. At some point in his childhood, he sees a person who maybe is a new father figure in their life, or maybe it's just someone his mom is with. Get taken out right in front of him by his dad, who he thought was dead. Who he probably didn't know at the time because he's never seen his dad. He's like, oh shit, that was okay. Well, trauma, block. Shut yourself off from the world. Completely different way of thinking about being afflicted with the loss of your senses. It wasn't something that was a physical malady, a physical deterrence. He found himself unable to reconnect and trust his senses to tell his brain the right thing. right? And then throughout his life, he's mistreated and misunderstood because of it. And if I'm right, it was his mom really getting angry at him not paying attention to her, but paying attention to the mirror where he could observe himself. And smashing that is what allowed him to get over the block. And then it's like, the image that I get is like one of these mega pastors, you know, with ego, and not with something sinister in mind, but just a need, I think, to be appreciated, understood, not molested, not persecuted, not misunderstood and traumatized, right? He's the see me, feel me, touch me, heal me, that coming throughout is coming in different contexts, but it's the same internal desire to be noticed, understood, observed, validated, you know? At our core, I think all of us want that and feel better when we are truly understood, seen, touched, you know, all of that. The connection to Mayor Baba is an interesting one. Mayor is not a person that I know a ton about. I haven't read his treatises or his writings, but it's interesting. Mayor Baba died the same year that Tommy was released. I didn't realize he was so a product of past generations, I guess, before really reading more in, or I'd forgotten it. He was born in 1894. And when he was 19, he began this odyssey of spiritual transformation. And from what I saw, visited several respected spiritual leaders at the time. And then, oddly enough, in 1925, he began this period of silence. He began this, what lasted, I think, the rest of his life, 44 years later, or 44 years. He refused to speak. He communicated with an alphabet board and then later through an interpreter using hand gestures. So I wonder if the disassociation from speaking or even doing that, is that what gave Pete the idea to create the idea of Tommy, who becomes disassociated from his senses in some way? I don't know if that's designed to be a similar thread in those stories, but that's interesting. So Baba, his teachings seem to center on the understanding that the goal of our conscious existence should be to gain understanding of our own divinity and to realize our oneness with the main God, energy source, whatever he thought, right? So he taught that God alone exists and that each soul is also God, passing through this existence as an imagination exercise to realize our own divinity, our own eternalness. I don't know, y'all. I think it's interesting. If I have an understanding of it, it's only, in terms of the spiritual teaching here, it's only a surface level one. So if y'all have read any of Baba's works or have more things to say about that, I would be interested to know about that. the main thing that I enjoyed the whole thing. It went by quite quickly to me. I felt wrapped in the story. I think the storytelling was interesting. I love the twists and turns of it. It's the Who, right? It's a little less electric than I was expecting, less like hard rocking than I expected. You get some of that, but most of it is just, it's narrative driven, almost folk rock to me, and with really smart lyrics and an attention to detail in the story, and using all the tools. It's a really fascinating piece. I understand why it's still looked at. I mean, it's kind of the first of its kind, isn't it? As a double album that's using no like stage direction or spoken word or very little, and using the operatic point of view, the operatic formula, as a device to then tell their story with their instrumentation. Opera, y'all, is one of the grand ways that humans express ourselves artistically. For a long, long time, it's been one of the most expensive ways to tell stories. Now that's movies. But before movies were a thing, operas were where you go to see the major stars of the day singing the best music from the best composers of the day, with the best musicians in the orchestra and the best costume designers and the best set directors and all of that. So you get all of that. You get costuming, you get all the musicians, you get, when you could, lights. Now that's all in there as well. But those were our movie stars, and those were the vehicles for our stars of the day and the popular main people of the day to have their vehicle to perform and do their thing. And it was expensive, and it still is. But it's where we kind of flock to these spectacles of storytelling, and in that tradition, they're taking that idea that we can tell a story completely through music without any spoken dialogue, and move our audience and have them understand the story. And the really fascinating thing is that Roger's doing, Roger and, all of the band really, but you don't lose out on different characters. You can follow who's speaking and whose point of view the music is coming from. Really fun. I'm glad that we did this. Sam, I'll get to the other version of it now that I know what to listen for. That's going to be a fun experience. I'm glad I did this one first, and I thank you for putting it forward. And I thank y'all for voting for it. We assume that, surely Doug has heard, I'm sure he's not heard all of it, but surely he's heard some of it or knows what's going on. Not really. So I invested all of my energy into that, and it was a fruitful time. So I thank you for being with me on this latest edition of the Extended Play Lounge. It's episode 67, and we've been listening to Tommy by The Who. Thanks y'all for being with me. We'll see you next time on another edition of The Daily Doug.